Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself. And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem.
This is real? Is this real?
Yeah.
So here is my pledge to you. Donald.
She says
it's so absurd. It's so absurd.
Hold on. She's the border czar. You're the emperor of the border.
I know she wasn't. She was not the border czar. She was never the border czar.
Yeah, yes,
the media has been doing that for a week.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Leftist Losers Show, where we point out all of the losers of the left. And today I got a clip from the Patrick Bet-David Show where he is calling out Kamala Harris and her campaign for the absolute infuriating things that she is saying on the campaign trail. The fact that she is currently the active vice president under Joe Biden and is currently in charge of the border, yet she's out on the campaign trail telling people that when she's president, she's going to fix the border. She's going to solve problems. Well, the question that's being asked is, why can't she do it now? I mean, she is the current vice president. She is in charge of the border as we speak. Why isn't she making moves to solve the problem right now? And it's kind of just, it's insane that people are buying this stuff. And the media is absolutely gaslighting the entire country on the fact that Kamala Harris, they're treating it like Kamala Harris isn't actually in power right now, even though she is, especially considering Joe Biden's mentally gone. The man has potato brains, but nope. Kamala Harris can't do anything. Her hands are tied, and she'll be able to solve all of these problems once she's president. Well, anyways, people like Patrick Bet-David and Tim Pool and other independent media are actively calling her out and her campaign out, and it's hilarious, and it needs to be spread as far as we can spread it. So let's go ahead and jump right into this clip from the PBD podcast calling out Kamala and her campaign.
Play the clip I just sent to you because they're telling us she's the greatest of all time and how amazing of a VP was, and this is mainstream media her being the presidential candidate. Go ahead, Rob.
Reports that say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president.
Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Swing voters don't like Harris. How big a drag is Kamala Harris on the ticket?
She's a pretty big drag. I think she was arguably Biden's worst political decision.
They don't like her. There's lots of reasons they don't like her.
Kamala Harris's approval rating is now at 28%, which is an historic low for any modern vice president.
We're hearing it from mainstream media, one outlet after another, one leak after another. That Kamala Harris is the worst vice president ever, the worst politician ever.
We don't see the vice president. What people are saying to me, and I'm sure they're saying it to you, where's the vice president? Some White House officials are feeling that she came off looking unprepared for inevitable questions about when she might visit the southern border.
We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
The point that Lester Holt was making was obvious to anyone else who was watching this interview, which is that the issues at the border are inextricably linked with the portfolio that she's been given.
The border is secure. We have a secure border. Bidenomics is working. Prices have gone up. And families and individuals are dealing with the realities of.
There are reports that say that you have the lowest.
But by the way, did you see the video of what she said, Rob? I don't know if you guys saw this or not. What she said yesterday. She said, Trump's the reason the border is problematic, but if you vote for me, I will fix the border.
She didn't say that.
Are you guys joking? You didn't see this?
No.
Tell me you're joking. Hang on.
Carrying water.
Rob, do me a favor and play this clip. This is what she just said, and let me see exactly when it was. 7:30. 7:30 is what? 2 days ago. She just said this. When you see this clip, your angry patriot side's about to come out.
I
just watch it.
I still think you're absolutely.
I'm telling you, watch this.
We're
Go
about
ahead.
to sell some shirts.
Watch this. Hang on. Watch. No, rewind.
Okay,
I want him to hear. Tom, say nothing, Tom. Just listen. Go ahead.
Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself.
You know, I'm starting to think that Kamala Harris is the ultimate psyop. I'm wondering if the three-letter agencies wanted her to get selected. I think, well, okay, first of all, let me preface this by saying I'm pretty sure Joe Biden picked her out of spite for the Democratic establishment because they were pressuring to get him out. And I think him endorsing her was kind of like a big middle finger. That's why Obama was so mad. But anyways, let's pretend that didn't happen for a second. Just think about this little thought experiment. I feel like this would be the ultimate psyop for the three-letter agencies, and they're probably looking at this as like a beneficial side effect of what, the cards that have fallen so far. If the American people vote for Kamala Harris, she not only didn't have to win a primary and never got any votes from regular people, she was also the worst candidate in the Democratic primary in the 2020s. And now she's just saying things that are blatantly false. I mean, they've always done that, but hers are like the most ridiculous gaslighting comments. Like, they're so simple that anyone with an 80 or above IQ could be like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. But people are falling out. I mean, look at the people in her crowd. They're still cheering. So it's literally that meme from Family Guy where Lois is running for office and she goes 9/11 and they all just start screaming. That's what we're dealing with now. And I wonder if they're looking at this like an experiment. Like, okay, if this is all that it takes to win over the American people is that you slap a color and a D on their uniform and then they can say whatever the hell they want and they'll win. Wow, absolutely insane.
President, I will work to actually solve the problem.
This is real? Is this real?
Yeah. So here is my pledge to you. Donald.
She says
it's so absurd. It's so absurd.
Hold on. She's the border czar. You're the emperor of the border.
I know she wasn't. She was not the border czar. She was never the border czar.
Yeah,
the media has been doing that for a week.
I still think, by the way, it's sad that I have to look to make sure this isn't AI generated, but none of our people believe that. There's no way you believe that.
Look, the media is gaslighting, and the media is carrying water for her. As I keep saying it, and over again. And guess what? What did Hillary do over and over again? Pick an issue, accuse the other person of what you're doing, and take credit for the fix.
Exactly. You know who said that? Do you know who said that a long time ago?
Pelosi?
Rob, I want you to pull this up.
Was it the Schmear?
No.
Let him go.
I'm going to show you who said exactly what Tom just said. Said that a long time ago, Rob. Post that quote up there. Post that quote up there. This is, zoom in. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propaganda minister.
Oh boy!
Well, so great playbook.
They're saying that the other side, Trump is the reason for messing up the border. And by the way, this is all you have to ask yourself: how many people will that work on?
Oh, not so many.
No, hear me out. No, hear me out. It's actually very important to ask this question.
It's huge.
The amount of people, like right there, the people that she's talking to, how many people, no matter what she says, will sit there and say she's right? How many people
in that audience? In Atlanta,
42 to 44%. The core.
No. The audience in Atlanta,
85, 90.
I'm going to say even more than that, right? That's going to believe her. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But go to the people who are the audience that the vote matters to. How many of them, of the independents who are educated people who have watched what she's done, who are Democrats, will sit there and say, listen, honey, we're going to vote for her, but she's so full of shit.
Yeah.
How many people say that? How many people actually sitting there saying, what's she talking about? Everybody.
Sad reality is probably way too many. And you know what? That's just, this is the ultimate sign of how far our society has fallen, that we're at a point now. This is literally like the Civil War in Ireland, right? Like the IRA situation, where you had the wall dividing that city. I forget which city in Ireland it is, and I know that's pretty sad of me to forget that. I want to say it's Dublin, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's called the Peace Wall, but on one side you'd have pro-Palestine stuff, and the other side you'd have pro-Israel stuff, and it's like, what does that have to do with what's going on here in Ireland? Why are the two sides picking sides in that situation? And the reality was it was just tribal, and I think that is a great reflection of what we have going on right now. People are so tribal and are so enamored and stuck in their team that no matter what their team says, it's a good thing. It doesn't matter if it makes zero sense. If their team said it, it's great, and they'll run with it, and they'll kind of just turn off their brain and go, all I know is it sounds like we should be cheering, yay! Like like I just said originally, the lowest meme, 9/11, and then they all scream. That's what's happening. It's really, really sad, because the reality is where we go from here is going to affect all of our kids, those of us that have kids. They're going to have to live with these decisions. They're going to have to live with the fallout of all of this. And, you know, if they keep pushing this authoritarian garbage and they keep taking away rights and they keep putting us in these situations where like this candidate's didn't even have to go through a primary and she's going to get voted for and maybe even win. It's going to be really sad. Like our kids are going to have to fight their way out of that, right? Because we failed as a generation, and the generations that are currently here are failing to maintain freedom and put the government in check. And so here we are. Like this this is what we're living with now, is just unfettered cultism from both sides, but the Democrats, you know, have it in spades, and it's why they're able to do what they're able to do and lie so much, because people will just fall in lockstep with them and do whatever they're told because they think they're doing the right thing. Because the media will gaslight and like he said, carry the water for these candidates.
Everybody knows you're the reason why the border sucks. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I tell you, I have facts behind this, not opinion. What's very interesting in the polling bounce, I've been doing research on polling bounce, and in Arizona, when they started asking people, what are your top 3 issues? All of them, independent, Democrat, Republican, Arizona, had the same 3 issues in the same order: immigration, economy, women's rights, in the same order. Why? Immigration, number 1. The intensity of the response from all voters in Arizona on immigration was like at an 8 out of 10 on the intensity scale. Why? It's live living and it's in their front yard. You don't have to be a Democrat or a Republican to see the homeless people and to see the immigrants walking around and making you not feel safe in Arizona. You see that? So it's number 1 for all voters in Arizona saying, hey, this is messed up. We can't have this. Doesn't matter political party. Now you go to Missouri, guess what the intensity level was? The intensity level was like 2.5 to 3. Why? Because immigrants aren't going around Missouri, and it becomes a theoretical argument between me, a Democrat, let's say, and you, a Republican. We're just yelling and screaming at each other. So what has happened? There are places, PBD, where it doesn't matter what she say. If she gave that speech in Arizona, everybody in the audience would say, dude, you know, come on, Kamala, you know, the immigration is a huge problem here. You're just talking. And they're not going to believe that. But that's just Arizona. The rest of the places, you could have 90% of the people in Georgia going, yeah, go.
And I think he's exactly right. And it's frustrating, right? Because at the end of the day, everybody, you know, every state in the union gets to have a say on who's president. And that was the big issue with, you know, the voting laws after COVID or during COVID. And that's why Texas sued Pennsylvania. And it's extremely frustrating that, you know, the Supreme Court wouldn't see that case because they were too scared to deal with it because of the fallout afterwards. But the reality was, you know, Texas sued Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania's voting laws are were unconstitutional. And Texas was like, hey, if we're all voting to decide who's going to lead all of us, we all need to follow the rules laid out in the Constitution for how we should vote. Because if you're cheating or doing something that's, you know, different and makes it easier for certain groups to take advantage of, how is that fair? Because now we have to deal with who you picked as leader through means that aren't aligned with the rules. And the Supreme Court just wouldn't see it. They just dismissed the cases that, you know, that were brought up. And it's kind of a similar situation where, like he said, you have states where the issue is right in their face, like Arizona. And so when Kamala says stupid things about how she's going to fix the border, these people are like, hey, I'm living with this every day. I'm paying at least enough attention to realize, like, you're in charge right now. Why aren't you doing something right now? Or why haven't you done something during the last 4 years that you've been here and in charge of the border? But people in Georgia, where it's not as big of an issue, probably don't care and don't even care about the border issue all that much, other than just it's a talking point for either side and they'll yell about it. But at the end of the day, like, they're not thinking about it. They don't care. So if she says she's going to fix the border, they just turn their ears off and are like, yeah, she's just saying generic, you know, stuff that they all say. Yay, I'm voting Democrat no matter what, vote blue no matter who, baby. And they do whatever they want. And it's just goofy, stupid, you know, garbage, tribal garbage. And that's what our political system has devolved to. That's where we're at nowadays, folks. And it's sad. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this clip from the PBD podcast. I figured it was a good watch. And I think, you know, this is the kind of stuff we need to be spreading around to get, you know, wake up as many people as we can. You know, it might not get people to vote for Trump or whoever you want them to vote for, but at the end of the day, if they're more informed and they can at the very least call out, even if they are going to vote for Kamala, if they can at least call out her BS and know, or at least know she's BSing, it might start to, you know, I know it's cringe, but it might start to red pill them in the sense that they are at least aware that, hey, if you're going to vote for her, know that you're voting for this BS, and you have to live with that. And we need to make them live with it, because ignorance is bliss, and we need to take away their ability to be ignorant, right? Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, or comment down below your thoughts, or, hey, tear me apart in the comments if you hated this content. Either way, I just appreciate the engagement, and I will see you guys in the next video.